Cool. Just trying to see if you guys can hear me. Can you guys hear me? Hello out there. Hi. I'm doing like 12 things right now at once. Let me know in the chat if you guys can hear me. The conversation is being received because I want to make sure that tonight's points are getting through to you guys. If you guys have questions as we go through these topics and this conversation, I want to know you guys' take on everything that we're going over. So, let's get started. Sorry, like I said, I'm doing like 6 things at once. Just put my kids to bed. So you may hear crying in the background because they don't want to be in bed. But ignore it. It is what it is. Welcome to More Cake. Yes, my bad instead of art. This is actually a remake, not a remake, but I owed you guys a Fix It Friday last Friday, but I didn't go live. But I felt like I should at least go live now so I can give you guys the one that's due, like a retake, you know what I'm saying? Like a makeup. That's the word I'm looking for. Giving you guys a makeup of what I owed you guys before. So I'm Julia from More Cake. Yes, my bad instead of art, and today is a Fix It Friday on a Wednesday. Yeah. I'll try my hardest not to miss any more Fridays. So I asked a question via social media, what is a thing that is frustrating you in the sweets community, right? And I got some really good responses back, and I thought I would take them and answer them here, or just discuss them here with you guys. Let me know what you guys, can you guys hear me? Yeah? All of you? All 8 of you in here right now live, or anybody who's going to watch the replay? I want to make sure you guys can hear me because I got the volume down on my side. So, first things first. If you don't know who I am Jelena, because sometimes people say, oh, who's this person giving this advice? What are their credentials? Who are they? So basically, in the sweets community, I have been in this business going on 12 years now. I started way back in the day, and there's a lot of things I know. I teach a lot, and there's a lot that I still don't know, so I'm learning a lot as well. So I love every so often coming on and opening the discussion up, talking about things within the community of the work where I am, because there's a difference. If I was just like a car salesman, you know, I would probably not have a community to discuss my frustrations within there. It's just I go to work every day. But the difference is, in the cake community, everybody owns their own business. Everybody's trying to run their own business. So everybody's looking for someone to help them, someone to aid them in their scenarios. And this is a perfect way to kind of reach out to other people within the community that may feel in a similar way that you feel. So one of the things that somebody had wrote in the response of, you know, what frustrates them within the sweets community, one of them was other bakers' low prices when, sorry, I'm reading my chicken scratch handwriting. Other bakers' low prices when they underprice their product that devalues my product. People stay with cheaper cakes within their area. So my whole take on that is what I've learned with just owning a business, period, is I can only control what I do, right? And this really is like a good response. Shay wants to see, sorry, I'm getting a text message at the same time. I can only control what I do, right? I can't control what other people do. I can't go door to door and tell other businesses to stop undercutting my price. All I can do is educate my community as best as I can, educate my customers as best as I can, and keep it moving. My thing is at the end of the day, you gotta remember, when you're running your business, you have to find who your customer is, okay? We are very unique. We work from home, so we don't have foot traffic where people go just walk in and want to grab a cupcake from you, right? And then because we're a home business, we don't have that ability to have foot traffic. We don't have that ability to just have cupcakes on hand to sell to any Joe Schmo that we come upon, right? We don't have that ability. So our customers are unique. We have to find them. They want something custom. They want something gourmet towards them. They want theirs to be the only one. That is a very small niche of a customer, okay? Especially when you put in it that we don't have a storefront in order for us to have someone come into our store. We have a home. So automatically people don't take us seriously. Automatically we get people that look down upon us and go, oh, well, I mean, it's not like you have a whole like bakery or anything like that. You know, you're just running a little thing, a little side thing, probably hustling in your kitchen, and it's not even, you know, legit. And in some cases, that's the fact. A lot of bakers out there, they are not running a legit kitchen, but that doesn't mean that they're not trying to run a business, okay? Just because you're running an illegal business doesn't mean you're not running a business, all right? So my whole thing is at the end of the day, your prices need to reflect what you're putting out there. There are people in the market who will undercut you. There are people in the market who will overprice, who will go above you. That's because they themselves may not know their prices, or they themselves are just doing it for fun. But you have to remember the customer who's purchasing, okay? If the customer is willing to purchase a cheap cake, then most likely they weren't going to purchase your cake no matter what anyways. Because they're looking for something to be amazing and huge, but they want to make sure that it's huge for no money. You understand what I'm saying? You guys get it? They want to make sure that they can get as much of a discount as possible. And no matter if you're selling your cake for $200, there's going to be somebody out there willing to sell it for $100. No matter where you are, no matter what business you're in. At the end of the day, it is frustrating, but you shouldn't allow that to affect your business, because at the end of the day, you should be offering something more unique than the other person's offering. Yes, we all offer cakes, but what makes yours set apart from anybody else's, okay? You have to find that customer. My starting price, I don't even take cake orders anymore, but when I do, there's special cakes. And my starting price is $4.50. I don't turn my oven on for anything less than that, all right? You can't get me to go and turn my oven on for anything less than $4.50. If you ain't paying me $4.50, then we ain't having no conversation, all right? I don't even waste my time. Back in the day when I was hustling, I didn't even have a minimum. I didn't even know my prices. So I was just kind of like, oh, pulling anything out of my ass. But when I figured out my prices and got my business legit, yeah, my minimum was $300 at that point. It became $450 within the last year and a half. Okay? For the simple fact that certain things have gone up. First of all, the price of vanilla is freaking ridiculous. Freaking ridiculous. But the point is that if you are comfortable within your business, your prices, your product, you need to go find that customer. All right? My customer is not somebody who wants a $100 cake. And if I give them $4.50 and they don't want to come to me, they want to go to someone that's cheaper, that's fine. Because you also have to remember, and this goes towards us who know our prices, but feel that other bakers are cheating us out of the game because they're going below us. As a baker, we know our value. All right? I know how much I'm worth per hour. All right? I know my value. Maybe that baker doesn't know their value. And if they want to hustle for a $100 cake, a $10 bundt cake, then you have to allow them to do that. That's their hustle. But remember, you have a job. You have a business. You can't allow those who are undercutting you affect your business, because you have to be able to offer your customers something they aren't able to. Okay? A customer will always go where it's cheaper, but you need to find that customer who's going to come to you when it's loyalty and they know what you're going to give them is perfection every time. The customers I have, I live in Georgia. I still get custom orders from Florida, where I used to live, because my customers are loyal to me. And what's funny is when I told them that I've moved and I no longer can continue to fly back to do their orders, because I was, the first 2 years I was living here, I kept flying back to do orders. They let me know, okay, well, who can I go to order cakes from? Because you're my girl. So I put them on someone else. You have to find customer loyalty, okay? Build a relationship with your customers, because even your customers are supposed to be advertising you. They don't know they're doing that. But your loyal customers will advertise you, will put you out there, will let their friends know, hey, 450 is a lot of money for a cake, but she's worth it, I promise you. Or he's worth it, I promise you. So don't try to think of it as people out there who are undercutting your prices. No matter where you go, it's fucking frustrating. I mean, look at Kim Kardashian. She put this amazing dress on, and then within a day, fast fashion, that's what they call it, fast fashion, like Forever 21, Fashion Nova, Pretty Little Things. Fast fashion copied the dress. Okay? Everybody will undercut you somehow. Everybody. Because when they know what can sell, they sell it. But that doesn't mean they're making money. What you have to focus on is if you're making money and how you can make it work for yourself. I see something. I know that's right. Yes. If an other cake sells at $3 a portion and you are doing $5, that cake is not stealing customers from you. You don't have the same customers. Exactly. That's exactly how I feel. The customer is not the same customer. If that customer wants to purchase a cake for $3 rather than $5, that's not your customer. All right, because that customer is $2 cheaper than cheap, and I don't have a cheap customer. First and foremost, I can't even afford my own cakes. I would not pay $4.50 for my own cake, because the problem happens is because I have that mind of an artist and a DIYer. I go, I'll just do it myself. That's how I got into cake. He was like, I'll just do it myself. All right, but at the end of the day, customers will go to wherever they can save the most money. Trust me. Even the richest customer will go wherever they can save the most money. I've had, you know how a lot of bakers and sweet artists have in their Instagram bio, oh, celebrity cake artists. You know how they have that thing? I've created cakes for celebrities too. I've had celebrities reach out to me to create cakes. It's always the celebrities who reach out to you who want the biggest discount or want it for free because they're going to give you exposure. Let me tell you about exposure. It's a crack of shit, all right? I can only tell you guys, point blank period, what it is. It's a crock of shit. It's not for realsies. I gotta keep myself hydrated. I'm doing a 3-day drink water all day. So yeah, so at the end of the day, you have to just focus on who your customer is. Okay? If you know who your customer is, then you found the gold right then and there. You found the gold. What is this? By the way, I got to design in my cell phone background. Oh, yay! That makes me excited. Did you see my little... That makes me excited. Awesome. That makes me so excited. Which one did you download? The black and white one or well, black or white design. And did you do the simple sugar or did you do the sugar high? If you guys don't know what she's talking about, if you go over to my Patreon, which you can find a link on my YouTube channel. If you go over my Patreon, I'm offering free... designs for your cell phones. So it's not the only designs I'll be offering, but it is the first designs that I'm offering for wallpaper. So go ahead and check it out. I'm very proud of them. I have the signature drips on it and everything. Exposure doesn't pay bills. Exposure don't pay no bills. I can't tell you how many times people have said, oh, I'm going to give you exposure. Excuse me. I've had this famous rapper. He's super famous right now. Super famous. He was famous then, but he's super famous now. He reached out to me in Miami, and his team asked me to do a cake for them and bring it to the nightclub and all this stuff, and I would get exposure. And I was like, yeah, but exposure ain't going to pay for this cake, boo. Why am I going to get the money to pay for this cake? Like, so, at the end of the day, again, people are cheap. You yourself are cheap. We are all cheap. All right? You can't expect somebody else all of a sudden to become rich because it's not benefiting your pocket. So, again, focus on your customer and not what other people are doing. If it's hindering you, if it's coming to a point where it's hindering you, and the only way it could hinder you is if Miss Sally next door is like taking money from you, and like if they are coming up to all your customers saying don't buy from them, don't buy, if it's hindering you, then that's a problem. But until then, you have to just find your customer, and your customer may not be in your immediate community. You have to maybe check outside your community too. All right? This is my first live on YouTube. Glad it's you, love you. You're so real, and I try to tell it like it is. I always think it's funny when people say you're so real. I appreciate that so much, but yeah, I try to tell it like it is and just tell my truth and my experience. The sugar high and all white with the black, I had a hard time reading some stuff like the temperature and stuff. Yeah, so that one, I was hoping to see what people would think about that with all the sugar high, but yeah, I see what you're saying, because right now I just have the white sugar, the simple sugar one on my phone. All right, so next one, what somebody else said. Somebody said, oh, this was a good one. Too much shade and drama. All right, so let me tell you about a little bit about shade and drama. Okay, I have never seen so much crap, arguments over crap in my life until I entered in within the sweets community. Okay, so I've been doing cakes for 12 years. All right, I've been doing this business for 12 years. I've only been in the sweets community, meaning like Facebook or like there's Instagram, in the last 4 years. All right, it's been 4 years since I've entered in. Before then, there wasn't much of a community. There weren't a lot of Facebook groups. There wasn't a lot of meetups. There weren't. In the last 4 years, the sweets community has grown. There weren't any like giant shows like that's going on now. It was hard to find teachers. It was hard to find someone to teach you. It was hard to find YouTube tutorials. In the last 4 years, it has skyrocketed. All right. So what I would say is, from being within the sweets community, when I was in Facebook groups, when I was running my own group on Facebook for a while back in the day, and when I was on Periscope, even on Instagram, there will always be someone who's going to shade you and talk shit about you. Now, let me explain. They're not going to talk shit about you if you've just kind of like done your own thing, right? The only time people will gossip and badmouth you and shade you is when you're trying to do more than what they feel you're worth. You understand that? Let me repeat that and say it louder for the people in the back. The only time people will gossip and talk shit about you is when you are trying to do more than what they feel you are worth. All right? Because it wasn't until I've been teaching for a while. I've been teaching for quite some time. I'm not new to teaching. Teaching is not a new job to me. But it wasn't until people started knowing who I was within the sweets community, even bigger, is when people really started coming for my throat. And I'm like, I've been here the whole time. I've been me. I've been this person. I've been this the whole time. But people will always come for your throat if they see that you are doing something more than what they think you're worth. All right? And to me, what I have to say to them is just a big F you. Like, oh well. So you can't make everybody happy, and everybody's always going to shade you and talk crap about you. There's no way to get away from it. And then when you're within a community of people, because we do this by ourselves, right? Like, I'm at home, I do this by myself, or, you know, my kids are running in circles, your kids may be running in circles, or you have to go to your 9-to-5 job. So I've been there, done that, I'm living it, right? Not the 9-to-5 job, but, you know, my kids running in circles and bother me. So we do this by ourselves. So it's now we're comfortable, we have a community we can go to and set our frustrations out to and talk amongst, and now it's back to high school. Because now there's a community of people who are going to listen to all the griping and the bullshit and the drama, right? There's people watching that. So now it's like, oh, people like what I have to say because I'm gossiping and talking shit, so I'm going to keep doing it. That's where that happens. It's not saying they're right in doing what they're doing, but it's just entertaining as hell, right? Because everybody likes someone who throws shade, child, but don't throw shade at them, but everybody loves when they throw shade. So my thing is when it comes to shade and when it comes to drama, the one thing you need to do is just remember to stay focused on what you got going on. Don't worry about trying to prove everybody wrong. If y'all hear crying in the background, that's just my daughter. She really don't like to be going to bed, so she's just going to be crying for a little bit. But you have to stay focused. It doesn't matter what the person is saying about you. It doesn't matter how many people are talking shit about you. It doesn't matter why they're talking shit about you. I just posted this on Instagram now. None of that shit matters. At the end of the day, what matters is you staying focused. Because the reason why they're doing that, and I know it sounds like a quote taken out of a book, the reason why they're doing that is because it's trying to deter you from what you are meant to do. Okay? And let me tell you something. The people who talk shit are normally the people that you've been there for, or maybe it's somebody that you absolutely don't even know who's just talking shit about you, right? But it's too close to comfort because they're talking shit about you within the community in which you hang out in, okay? So you can't focus on that. You can't try to figure out why or understand or go after them and fight them. You can't fight every battle. That's a waste of time. know who you are. You know what you want to do in life. I say focus on that. Okay? Because if I stopped every time a Tom, Dick, and Harry had a problem with me cursing, has a problem with how I run my life, has a problem with what kind of cake I'm making, every time, you know how many times that's all I would be focused on. Because everybody, and then if that was all I was focused on, then nobody would be talking crap about me because I wouldn't be putting out any content. All right? You think people don't come in my comments here on YouTube when I put out a free tutorial? Here's a free tutorial. You don't think people come in my comments and go and say words to me and bash me? At the end of the day, listen. You can't tell someone else how to live their life. Remember what I said at the beginning? First things first. You are only responsible for yourself in life. You will never understand why they do it. Why can't you understand why they do it? Because you will never be them. A motherfucker who's working on themselves and focus on themselves will never understand a hating ass person. You can't understand that. I don't understand that either. I don't understand why people do that. Right? Like, yes, I understand the jealousy behind, what they're jealous of how you make your moves, and they're jealous of how they wish they made the same moves and they wish they did this. I get all that. But my point is why can't you still do that? So I can never understand why really they do it. Because I'm not stopping nobody, so I don't understand the hate. But it will always be there. So my best advice for that is you have to stay focused on you. Because you met people like this before. It's just the devil in somebody else's body. You met someone like this before who shaded you. It could have been your friend, could have been your best friend back in childhood. It could have been one of your boyfriends who you're supposed to be responsible and trusting you. It's supposed to be your mama, your daddy, your cousins, your aunties. Trust me, it's always someone you have met before that has come back in someone else's body to try you. You just got to do what you did last time. Okay, well, deuces. I'm going to go this way. You can go right here. I'm going to go this way and focus on me. Okay? Because the last thing you want to do is regret that you didn't focus on you because you were so damn focused on why this bitch is hating on you. Who cares? Or it doesn't matter what they shading you about. None of that matters. All that matters is you working on what you got to work on. And trust me, people will come and love you. It doesn't matter what somebody's saying about you. Someone will come and love you. Yeah, it's frustrating. My whole thing is when it comes to drama and social media, don't give it the weight of your attention. If you give it the weight of your attention, then that says more about you than the person who's starting the drama. Because what person will sit and watch drama unfold and not stand up and say, hey, this ain't cool. Just stay out of it, go your way, and let that person say what they want to say. I'm missing a bunch of things. What am I seeing here? Sorry, I'm missing a bunch of you guys' comments. If they talk shit, you're doing something right. You get used to it. It's sad to say that you become prone to you always go like for me. I always really, but I don't understand. I do ask those questions like really. I don't understand what happened. I'm confused. Why did they come talk to me? But then I gotta go. After a while, after a few days of thinking of that and being in my head, I have to go, all right, well, gotta move on. I gotta focus on me. And that's what it is. I have to focus on me. Because I got 2 kids who are waiting for mommy, right? I don't have time to keep going, but I just don't understand, and this is what it is. Like, you gotta move on. I see a lot of gossip in this community because of teaching. Yeah, me too. Oh, this one is teaching the same class that I'm teaching. You're both teaching the same stuff, but a little different. Right. There's always that. Last year, I had there's someone in the Sweets community that every day they were upset about something about that they felt like they were being copied. And that's a big conversation in the Sweets community, is that a lot of cakes get copied and credit's not given. So my whole thing is, at the end of the day, when it comes to cakes, I'm an artist first. I'm not a baker. Don't ever call me a baker. I actually despise baking, right? But I'm an artist. I like the artistry of baking. I like the artistry of creating and putting something together. I just so happen to do it with sugar. My thing is, with art, as an artist first, and a trained artist, as an artist first, my goal is to always come up with something more unique and different. Yes, I'm inspired by so many things. I actually don't ever look at cake to be inspired. I look at art to be inspired. But the problem is within the sweets community is your customers want what they've seen online. Your customers look up cakes, right? Customers will go, oh, I saw this cute little, this cute cake online, and I would love for you to make this cake, right? And I did that too. I was like, sure, no problem. I was copying when got started. I started copying cakes, and then I slowly got into okay, well, I can give you something similar to this, but it won't be like exact. And then it got into telling people, no, I create what I want to create, right? That's the business I'm in. I create what I want to create. At the end of the day, if you wanted something different, you would have went to someone different. But you came to me because you saw my work. So I'm going to create based off of the things you have told me and the questions you've answered. I'm going to create what I want to create. Now, as an artist, that's how I am. But then there's a business point of it. When it comes to cakes, if I saw a cake out there with a unique texture and I was like, I'd love to be able to remake that texture. It's not copying to take credit for, right? A lot of people don't copy to take credit for. They copy to make the money, and they copy because they have the idea of it. And a lot of people want credit, and then that's where the problem lies right there, is the credit. Everybody wants credit for something. You know how many people I've taught in this community? You know how many people who watch my tutorials and create cakes off of my tutorials? How many people I've helped in this community and given free advice to and free teaching to? And not one of them, I mean a few of them. Let me not be like overly dramatic. A few of them, but not all of them have come out to say, if it wasn't for Jelena, I would have never known this part. Or I would have, and you have to be able to be okay with that. Because as a teacher, I am an artist and a teacher. That's it. That is who I am. As a teacher, I have to be willing to teach someone and let them go off on their own. I can't have them keep coming back saying, thank you to Jelena for teaching me this. 10 years later, thank you to Jelena for teaching me this. No, I have to be able to go, I've given you what I'm able to give you. Now go and do what you're supposed to do with it. Because to me, for someone to have to keep coming back to me to give me credit, I'm holding you back from you moving forward. Because I've taught you this small piece within this cake world. There's more out there. My goal is to teach you this small piece to open up your eyes so you can see other things out there. Because I'm right in this sense, but I'm not right in every sense. You understand? So some teachers don't have that ability to think like that, and some artists don't have that ability to think like that. So that's where a lot of the drama comes from. And to me, when it comes to teaching, I mean, at the end of the day, who cares? It's not like, I don't see nobody out there. Y'all name one person out there who's giving a shout out to their kindergarten and first grade teacher for teaching them how to read. Nobody. I don't see nobody out there saying, shout out to Miss Williams for teaching me how to read. And y'all write something every day on social media. So why is it such a big deal now? Now all of a sudden, because it's your business you're teaching, right? Or it's your cake that's being copied off of. Did you guys give a shout out to the person who taught you how to cover cake and fondant? Because let me tell you something. I ain't never take a class, but I sure in the hell had to watch somebody on Periscope to go, oh, that's how they copy the cake? I mean, that's how they cover their cake and fondant? That seems like a unique way. You see what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, you all pick up tips and tricks along the way. And when it comes to teaching, to me, as long as you didn't take my class, and now you go and teach my class, we good. If you learn that shit on your own, go teach it, right? So that's how I am. So it's a very sensitive subject, and a lot of people have a lot of opinions about it, but that's just my take on it. Again, I'm missing stuff. My bad, guys. Oh my God, I know twice a lady came at me because of what I was teaching. Again, people will always come at you, especially when it comes to teachers. It's, to me, I always feel like at the end of the day, if I'm teaching a class that I know someone else is teaching, okay, do you guys ever notice, here's a prime example. Do you guys ever notice where there's a McDonald's at least within 5 miles, there's a Burger King? Do you guys ever notice that? You want to know why that is? Do you think McDonald's employees and Burger King employees are across the, and there's one here where I live. There's a McDonald's on one side and a Burger King on the other side of the street. Do you think the employees are outside screaming at each other? They sell the same damn thing. chicken nuggets in different forms, but they basically sell the same thing, right? Chicken nuggets, hamburgers. Now they try and do like breakfast burritos and shit like that. French fries. They all got ketchup. They all have sweet and sour sauce. I mean, look at Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A just fancied it up and called it Polynesian sauce, which to me I find offensive because I'm Polynesian, but it's still good sauce and I actually kind of like ordering it. But it's all the same thing. Do you think they're out there bashing each other on the street like, hey, you're taking my customers? No. Right? You want to know what they're doing? They're going, oh, it's smart business. If McDonald's puts their place right there, we're going to put our place across the street. So a customer can say, hey, there's a Burger King here. Actually, I want to go to Burger King because they're having sale on whatever. Right? It's smart business at the end of the day. Think about all the businesses in a mall. People go to the mall all day long, all year long, every day, all day. Right? The mall is only closed really on Christmas. When I used to work in the mall. Yeah, really on Christmas and Thanksgiving. It's like really the only time the mall is closed. Do you think all of those fashion stores in the mall are yelling at each other? Charlotte Russe with fashion of Forever 21. They have the same exact freaking clothes. No. But business-wise, if I know you're going to the mall for Charlotte Russe, I'm going to put a Forever 21 in here. So that way I can give you another option. Only people within this community have I seen people come at each other's throat for the most nonsense stuff. If everybody gets their feelings out of business, it'll be better for them. I promise you. Somebody said here. I'm gonna help her out. Hi everyone. Go to subscribe to my channel. I'm a mompreneur helping other entrepreneurs get started while being a full-time mom, wife, owner. That's great. I really appreciate that. Just don't come in my comments promoting your stuff. If you want to promote something, go live on your own page and promote your stuff. It happened in every field. That's why get mad, microblading, tattoos, etc. I take a class and then you have the ability to teach. Right. Oh no, I tried to say my opinion and got blacked on by a known caker. She posted screenshots and shit talked about me. I was like, you ask an opinion from us, get mad when it doesn't go with yours. Yeah, a lot of people are like that too. A lot of people, you ever have those friends, right, that go, so I want to wear a dress tonight and I have an option to wear a blue dress or a black dress. You know, and you go, oh, I think the blue dress really looks nice on you. And then they go, are you sure the black one looks really cute? And you're like, well, no, I think the blue one, I don't know, I think I'm gonna wear the black one. It's like, well, why you fucking ask me a question then if all you're gonna do is pick the damn dress for yourself? Why you even ask me if you already know what you want to pick? It's because they want to know that what you have chosen, what they have chosen, is what you're gonna choose. So they can feel secure within themselves. Someone always needs that second opinion, right? It's like, oh, I have this black dress. You like this black dress, right? It's gonna look cute on me, right? You like this, right? It's like that people need to feel that that security to know what they're doing is right, and they don't like when people tell them that they're wrong. At the end of the day, there's people like that in every aspect. I hate to hear that it's within the sweets community because I hate when people go sweets community. It's like, well, a community is a place of, you know, come forth. We are all in this together. And I don't like when a student or teacher don't feel supported in their views, no matter what their views can be. So my thing is always, sometimes when you take a class, which I have said many times before, and I say this to my students, especially in my pricing class, I let my students know, when you take a class, you need to ask, before you pay for a class, you need to ask questions, especially if classes cost more than, first of all, if I'm paying $5 for a class, I want to know about it, right? I want to know I want to know the topics we're going to learn, what information is going to be available to me, when and how many times am I going to have, you know, because there's a difference of ways to get information. Where there's Facebook classes, there's online classes, there's in-person classes. So I want to know, okay, well, if I'm watching this online tutorial, after I watch it, can I reach out to you and ask questions? Or, hey, I'm in this class and it's a class today, but if I go home and try this, can I still reach out to you? So, and then there's that part of it. The frustration, I think, comes along when maybe teachers feel like they're putting so much out there, and maybe they feel like people don't see that, you know, which it kind of has to go, Well, yeah, but then the student is putting a lot out there too, and so it just kind of like, people can be jerks. I guess is what I should say. People can be jerks, and when it comes to social media, everybody. Oh my god, my back is itching. Everybody wants an audience, right? Like I'm not. That's just the God honest truth. Everybody wants an audience. So when somebody feels like you know they can shade somebody, screenshots are the way to go, to make this person, and it's out of context because people weren't there for the conversation. So it's like they screenshot what they want to and then share that, and then it becomes this like giant conversation where now people are judging you. Let me tell you something. It's the same thing I said before about the drama. Fuck all that. That's what people have to do so they can feel like, oh, good, I have people on my side, right? But you were born on your own, unless you had a sibling in the womb. You were born on your own. You have to walk through life on your own. That motherfucker wasn't holding your hand at the beginning, and they ain't gonna hold your hand at the end. All right? They're just deterring you from what you really need to be paying attention to. And shit like that, because I'm gonna tell you right now, if you ever come across that person face to face, I bet you they won't do none of that shit to your face. That's all just social media crap. When it comes to social media BS, that's when it's kind of like, okay, there's more important things in life than this right here. So don't let that like stop you from doing what you are supposed to be doing. I'm still reading questions. My opinion is I want people to like me even if they talk shit. It's hard for me to stop thinking about it. Right. Sorry, I'm reading, guys. Nowadays, no cakes are original. Everything has been made. We need to stop thinking, keep stealing stuff. Right. I can't stand when a person thinks they are hot shit in these cake groups and you're below them just because your skills don't top theirs. Cakes are not always perfect. Right. Let me tell you something. If you guys have been following my cake journey and if you guys have been paying attention, the cakes that I put out there, the cakes that I do, my artistry, it's always like a giant cake. Right? If you guys saw my Instagram post that I posted yesterday, my cakes are giant cakes, or they look realistic, or hang from ceilings. I want them to do the most, and I love whimsical and weird, and right. And if you notice on YouTube, the tutorials I put out there are more simplified. I backed it up. I'm doing buttercream cakes. I'm doing simple techniques. You want to know why? Because I've never done those cakes before. I've never gotten an order to do like a simple little cake, buttercream cake, just all different colors. I've never gotten that. So my YouTube channel is all about me teaching you guys and also me finding out what my abilities are at the beginner stuff. I came in this cake game and I just I went gun ho for it, right? Gun ho, and trust me, 12 years, I still make mistakes. My shit still falls apart, right? At the end of the day, it's easier to tell somebody you don't know and don't have to see face to face some rude shit. But they would never say that to your face. They would never say that. Because how often do you guys go out and somebody just come up to you and say some rude shit? That doesn't happen. Social media has changed the way people communicate with each other now. Right? People rather communicate via social media rather than just talk one-on-one with each other. It's much easier to never have to confront somebody in person, okay? Because then they don't have to be told that they were wrong. So I urge you guys, I'm not telling you guys to get out of the Facebook groups or anything. That's not what I'm telling you, because they can be very, very helpful. What I'm saying is proceed with caution, right? Not every advice is good advice. Not every friendship is the best friendship, and then not everybody has the best intentions. And nobody has your best interest at heart. Let me put it like that, okay? At the end of the day, everybody is for themselves. You may have your team of people. I got my man, I got my best friend, I have my family, I have my kids. That is who I'm looking out for. But even then, my man isn't going to live my dream. So I got to live that shit myself. So you have to be prepared to just be able to drop things. When you say you want everybody to like you, even if they're talking shit, I went through something like that before too. I was like, okay, you may not like me, but you may be talking shit about me, but I want you to like me. I kind of got over that because I got over that because I know I had a son, and I started realizing whose feelings mattered to me most. At the end of the day, I could care less what anybody thinks of me. You can hear my daughter crying in the background. I look like a mess. You wanna know why? Because today I was in mommy mode. I had to get a lot of stuff done. I've been up for 3 days. My eye has been twitching for a week. It was twitching now. For at some point you have to realize that there's much more bigger things in this world than what Sally next door thinks of you. You know what I mean? Um, la, la, la. Somebody said, so sorry, wasn't trying to offend. I actually love you and I watch all your videos. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I didn't think that you were trying to offend me whatsoever. I just wanted us to try to stay on topic here and nobody in the comments try to promote something that's not a part of the conversation. But I appreciate you apologizing. That means a lot to me because not a lot of people can do that. But there's no need to apologize, but I appreciate it anyways. On a positive note, you inspired me to make my 10-year daughter's unicorn birthday cake March 1st. Thank you. Oh, awesome. I'm glad that you made the cake. I'd love to see it. That's amazing. Congratulations. Exploring with, yep, fuck all that. Oh. Pretty much. Your cakes are dope, but you're inspiring me to do more. Oh, I appreciate that so much. Thank you. Exactly. Internet bullies, right? It's called social media gangsters. They all of a sudden gangsta on social media, you know. But which has happened to me in life a lot. A lot of people are like social media gangsters, and it's kind of like, oh God, only if they know me. Like, I'm that girl. Sorry, but I'm that girl who, if someone back in the day, if someone had a problem with me, I'd come and knock on their door and be like, "What's up?" I'm that girl. I'm that person who will buy a plane ticket and fly to your state to be like, "Can't help you," you know. And then it's like when you have kids, it's kind of like, okay, well, I can't be that crazy person anymore. You know what I mean? Even though if I see you, I'm still gonna be like, "What's up?" But I can't just be like, you know, looking for an argument. It's kind of like, have a conversation with me. So it's easy for people to be social media gangster, but when they get face to face, they're like, I'm not dealing with this. Well, of course you're not dealing with this. Easier to hide from the truth than face it. And I'm in certain groups, but I don't let all of the drama. Right. I love cake and I won't let anyone take that away from me. Yeah. Good. Don't let anyone take away from me. All right. So let me go to another topic. Let me cross this off. Somebody said something that frustrates them within the suits community is fondant, which I thought was, I was like, well, I didn't think I was going to get that response. I was like, oh, that's interesting. Fondant. But I get it. I get it. Let me give you guys some tips on fondant. Now, I am very good with fondant for the simple fact that you guys might have heard me repeat this so many times, but I used to own an Etsy shop where I sold custom toppers I made out of fondant that I would ship all around the world. I was surprised the very first time I got an order internationally. I was like, oh my God. So it went very well. I did it for 3 years, but it kind of ran me to the ground. I was tired. I was exhausted. It was just me by myself, and at a point I just had to go, I can't do this anymore. But I was able to work with fondant and know it better. And I lived in Florida at the time, and Florida, it's warm all the time. Even when it's cold there, it's warm. So I had to work with the temperatures rising, the temperatures lowering, rainy days, warm days, sunny days. I had to work with all of that, so I had to kind of know my fondant and understand it. Now, fondant that I live by, and some of you may really disagree with me, I live by Wilton. Funny, I know that's crazy, right? Wilton is the brand that a lot of people go, I can't stand Wilton, I'd rather this one, but Wilton, I stand by it. For 12 years, I've used it. The other one that I've been using recently, I just got put on and started using is Renshaw. Renshaw has been really good. I love it for sculpting. So what I've learned with fondant is you have to work with it and to understand it. You have to play with it, right? It's not just about covering a cake with fondant. All right, if you're not ready to cover cake with fondant, put that to the side. Create a topper. Play with it. See what it does, right? Color some different colors. The way black fondant isn't the same way that white fondant is. The black fondant will dry faster than white fondant does, okay? I know how to make a topper and how to get it to dry completely dry and harden within the first 3 hours of its life. Okay? So a tip on that, if you create a topper, set it on a piece of parchment paper on a sheet pan, pop it in the oven with the oven light on, only the oven light, don't turn the oven on, oven light on, sit it there so it can hit in the light, rotate it a couple of times, depends on how thick and how big it is. Make sure you put Tylose in it if you want it to harden. Tylose is going to be your best friend when it comes to fondant toppers. Pop it in the oven, and then when you take it out, so what happens in the oven is what the light does is it's pulling out all that moisture out of your fondant, right? It's trying to dry it all out. So when you take it out of the oven after a couple of hours and sit it maybe in a cool area, never your refrigerator, but in a cool area or maybe in front of a fan. I bought a whole fan for the days that I needed my toppers to dry fast. Sit it in front of a fan with the fan on, and what ends up happening is the oven has now taken out all that moisture and is dried it out, and now the cool air is going to stiffen it. So it becomes much more harder. You'll have, if you make a topper at 5 o'clock in the morning, it'll be ready and dried by 10 o'clock in the morning. Like, I used to do that all the time, and then I would ship them out. And it was perfect. I didn't have any problems with it. So my thing is, you have to play with it. You have to get to know the products that you're using. It doesn't matter if it's fondant or anything else. All fondant has elephant skin. There's not a fondant out there that doesn't have elephant skin. It exists, and the reason it exists is because of certain temperatures of your household, or certain temperatures outside affect it. Even rain affects it. Certain things affect how fondant works. Okay? Yeah, there have been times that my wilted fondant started to tear down, but that's only because I was rushing and didn't take my time, and I had it warm in the house. But if I put the air at 73 and it's cool in my house, everything would be fine. I know how long it's going to take for me to roll out a piece of fondant and for it to sit in the room right now, how long that would take for it to start to dry, right? So my whole thing with fondant is you have to play with it to get to know it. It's not something that you can just roll out and think you're going to cover a cake with. I wish I could pull up photos right now to show you guys of all the cakes that look like shiznitzel that I thought I was about to cover with fondant, right? So do yourself a favor. If there's a product that you feel stressed about, but you have to get to know because it's something your business needs to use, sit down one day and use it. Try it out. You're never going to be able to know how to use something until you use it, and use it again, and use it again, and use it again, over and over and over again, right? Sorry, I'm seeing comments. I'm seeing comments going up. I'm so glad the conversation is like live tonight. I love that. I hate when someone wants a cake and asks to make. Sorry, I think I missed something. That's what's fun when you can do a cake that you love. I made a steampunk cake for the first time in 7 years in a cake decorating, and I made it for myself. It was so much fun. Oh, that's awesome. I actually never have been able to make a steampunk cake. And I remember the first time I saw that, I was like, that's cute. Look at all these cute little gadgets and gidgets and all this color and the metallics. I've never been able to make one of those. Like, I've never got a customer to ask me for one. But maybe I should just make one for myself. That's a good idea. I hate when someone wants a cake and asks you to make an exact replica. I always tell them it will be a similar. Yeah, what I like to tell people straight off the bat is I think these pictures of these cakes are amazing and beautiful, but I love to create something that shows my personality and my artistry within this cake. So you'll never get something the same, or you most likely won't even get it similar. You'll have touches of those things, but that's pretty much it. Finna, exactly. Fiona, oh, you're answering something. Tell them to send pictures for inspiration only. You are the artist. Right, exactly. Good idea. Oh my, okay, you guys are, I see. How do you send pictures, guys? What do you mean send pictures? Oh, within here? Who's sending pictures? You guys can send pictures? Did somebody send a picture? Oh, maybe you're talking about the emojis? Oh no, you use the emojis. I'm not sure. I don't know if you can or not. Love Renshaw fondant. Used to use Wilton, but out of nowhere started having a lot of elephant skin. Sometimes I mix Wilton and Renshaw. Right. I know within the last maybe 2-3 years, Wilton has like changed their recipe. It's just a little more pliable, a little more softer. So maybe that's what happens. Also, I do not use. I know a lot of people use like powdered sugar or cornstarch on their tables, or they may condition their fondant with shortening. I do not do any of those things. I work with fondant straight out of the bucket. Um, it's also not a fun. You need to be creative, right? Um, I'm a satin ice bitch. I don't know how you work with satin ice. That is the one fondant that I do not like. It may be different now, but when I used it like 8 years ago, I used it 8 years ago out of stupidity. I was like, oh, let me just be unique and buy this satin ice, and that shit just fell apart. The whole cake fell apart. No lie. I posted a picture about that on my Instagram a while back, but yeah, I just I couldn't. I don't know. I know people love satin ice and swear by it, but my experience was horrible. Horrible. Um, True, I get excited whenever I get a cake order that let me in. Ooh, this is oven fondant tip is clutch. Thank you. So no, of course, a lot of people don't know that little tip. And what's funny is my mom taught me that tip because I was rushing one day to make a fondant topper way before I even had an Etsy shop. And I said, Mom, I really need this thing to dry. And I don't know, she looked up something online and she said, well, somebody says, and I think it was like a forum, like a blog or something. Somebody was commenting and said that that's what they did. And I was like, what a great tip. And ever since then, I swear by it. Swear by it. You wanted to see the cake I made for my kid. Oh, you were trying to see it. Oh, I see what you're saying. You were trying to send a pic here. Okay. Oh, right. Dang it. I don't know if you can send pictures in this group chat or even add it. But if you follow me on Instagram, I'd love if you send it to me, DM me, or tag me on it. If you posted it on Instagram, I'd love to see it so I can repost your cake. Reading, you can't. How do I send pictures to you? You can send it through my Instagram at yes_ma'am_sweets, and you can just DM me from there if you want to. Or if you don't have, do you have Instagram? Unless you don't have Instagram, then you can just email me, JalenaSimpson@gmail.com. Satin ice was way too soft for me. Maybe I should try those things. And I think it's the way they also store the fondant, because a lot of businesses store their fondant in the most absurd places, which then affects the outcome of the fondant when you get it. Okay, I used to work at Michael's Arts and Craft, and their warehouse was giant, and where they stored the fondant at is just this giant open warehouse where the fondant could have easily just dried right there on the shelf. And sometimes it did. Sometimes when I would open the fondant, when I got home, like a corner of it would be kind of hard rock, So it's all about how the fondant's stored wherever you're purchasing it from. I don't know what I was going to say. I just lost my train of thought. Satin ice changes the floss softer. I'm addicted to it. I'll tag you on a video. Oh, awesome. I'd love to see that. Maybe I'll give satin ice another try just for trying purposes. But I think I'm pretty sold on Renshaw. That's for sure. I love the black satin ice fondant. It's not sticky like the Wilton one. Interesting. I'd love to see that. Yeah. I didn't know that it was sticky. Interesting. Sorry guys. A lot of talking. My mouth is dry. All right. So the next thing. Somebody, which I guess this goes to everything we said. Somebody said the one thing that frustrates them is bitches be pressed. And I think basically they were trying to say at the end of the day, people get so stuck. Basically what we were talking about. People get so stuck on one thing and can't move on from it. And my motto is, I have a lot of mottos, but one thing I like to live by is, if you can't change it, then you have to keep moving, right? And when I say if you can't change it, meaning if it's someone else's actions and someone else the way they do, you have to keep moving. And the more attention you give to something, the more it will still be relevant somewhere. And you shouldn't allow it to be relevant within your mind, right? You have to go, they're pressed, All right, whatever. That's on them. Because I always say, if somebody has a problem out there and they didn't come to me with it, then it sounds like it's their problem, not my problem. I can't be stuck on, well, why? What's the matter? Why aren't you talking to me? We gotta move on. We just gotta move on. And boom. Okay. Somebody said, "Oh, I thought this one was very good." I am I am very big on women empowerment. I know it sounds like a cliche. I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, that's just such a cliche." Of course you are. You're a woman. But no. I was I was big women empowerment before women empowerment became a thing within the last few years. Nowadays, everybody's so woke about the culture. That word drives me insane. I hate that feel. I hate the comments about being woke. Because my thing is how can you be woke within your own culture? Because at the end of the day, you were that person when you woke up in the morning. You were that person way before then. So how all of a sudden are you woke? Where have you been this whole time? You're just now part of the conversation, is what's happening. So when it comes to women empowerment, for the women culture, I am big on that, and I'm especially big on it after I had my firstborn, because you go through so many emotions in life that they don't tell you you're gonna go through, right? They spew to you, oh well, you have you have a beautiful man, and you're gonna have beautiful children. You're gonna have a dog. You're gonna have a white picket fence. You're gonna make dinner, and you're gonna come with an apron and with high heels and makeup, and you'll be beautiful. You have a beautiful life, right? They give you that dream boat, right? They sell you that pack of lies, just like the pack of lies when they tell you that you have to go to college to be somebody. That's just one big pack of lies they tell people. So they sell this dream to women, and then a woman gets married, has children, and that process of having a child. Now, I can only speak on my truth and what I've gone through, and I know some other people have gone through. But as a woman, being pregnant was the biggest time in my life when I've ever felt the most sexiest, right? But also, being pregnant has brought my body physically and my mind emotionally a lot of pain. After I had my son, I went through postpartum depression. My daughter, but my second born, me being pregnant with her has caused a lot of physical trauma to my body. So then there's that where now I have to go have surgery and all these other things. So having children makes a woman's body do things that you couldn't believe, and mentally screws your mind up all at the same time. When you're thinking that you're supposed to have this white perfect picket fence and this perfect beautiful family, I mean, perfect, like, I have my family, but not knowing all the struggles that will come with that. No one told you the hardship that comes with, well, when you're pregnant, this may happen to you, or after you have a child, this may happen to you. No one ever had those conversations with me, right? And I'm very close with my mom, but we didn't have those conversations until I had a kid. And I'm going, where was this conversation? So I could be better prepared, for these moments to happen so I can recognize what's happening to me. So this person's comment is, a lot of us women, what frustrates her is a lot of women in this community don't believe in themselves. They don't believe in their business or their dream, and they have a lot of self-doubt. Now, the reason why I told you the story of having my kids is because I've always been this go-getter. I've always been a hard ass. I've always been this HBIC, no matter what I've done, right? It's just, now I'm in this sweets community. I've always been this person, but it wasn't until I had my kids that made me realize what I was really able and capable of doing. What boundaries I can really stretch and push. What walls I can push down and break down, and what doors I can go knock on, and what doors I can open and what doors I can't open. It expanded my mind to let someone else know at the end of the day, what you're afraid of is failure. That's what you're afraid of. As a woman, I'm afraid that my man won't love me one day, that my kids will leave me. I'm afraid to run my business and no one will like what I put out there, that people will talk shit and judge me. right? That as a woman, I'm going to wake up and not be pretty one day. So, and I'm going to be overweight, or I'm going to be too skinny, or um, my hair is going to be too frizzy or not straight enough. As a woman, we have millions of things that we're afraid of. And all of those things have to do with failure. You're afraid to just fail. But what you need to be prepared for is to know that you will fail. Because nobody has ever told you that you will fail. They told you that you weren't able to do something. That's what people told you. They said you are never going to make it. That's not what I'm telling you. What I'm telling you is you will fail. But just know that failure you have just gone through will be your biggest blessing. It will have taught you from now on, you know what to do not to fail. So when round 2 comes along and you get that opportunity to take it, you take it and you do it differently and you do it better. Right? That's why people always say, well, why does the second born always get like all of this? Or we don't even pay attention to them doing this, and they just, you know, the firstborn, it's like, no, you have to be perfect. The second born is always like, oh, okay, you're getting dirty, it doesn't matter. It's because the first time around, we figured it out. Who gives a shit if you're eating a worm? Eat a worm. It doesn't matter. Eat a worm. It's fine. Just do it. Just do it. I don't care. Okay? Because we've gone through that headache already. And I'm not saying my son's a failure. I'm saying I failed as a woman and a mother at some point, right? I failed. Or that's how I felt. I felt like I was a failure. I was going through postpartum depression, and I didn't recognize that that's what I was going through. I just recognized that I was failing, that something was wrong. And when I recognized it, when I realized what was going on with me, it's like all of a sudden it was like a different day. It was like, now I know what's happening with me, and now I know how to fix it. I know how to address it. So just know what you're feeling. If you are a woman in whatever business you're doing, whether it's the sweet community, whether it's whatever other business you're doing, just know we will fail. But we're women. We were bred and we breed for success. Okay? There's nothing more anyone else out there can say. A man can't tell you how to be successful. Only you can. Because you bred them, you breed them, and you raise them. As a woman, we are built for this. We are built for these moments. We are built for to be put down. We are built for people to talk shit about us. We are built to fail. We are built to screw up every day. We are built to go in a corner and cry. But you want to know what we do every time after those moments have happened? We stand the fuck up and go, all right, I have to do it. Because no one else is going to do it for me. No one else is going to do it for you. No one. As women, we have to put that in our minds, and we have to go, at the end of the day, no matter how much my man loves me and respect me, he ain't going to fight my battle. Right? He's not going to build my business. No matter how much my significant other or my best friend or my family goes hard for me. They go hard for me, right? My family goes hard for me, y'all. All right, when I tell you that. Oh, one day I'll have my family, I'll very slowly introduce you guys to, like, not my family, like my man and my kids, because you guys might have seen them before. I'm talking about like my mom and my dad and my siblings. But my family goes hard for me. But they're not going to build my business for me. And if what you're afraid of is failure, then you have nothing to be afraid of, because I'm telling you now, you will fail. And that failure will teach you the biggest thing you've ever needed to learn is how to be successful. And success is different in everybody's mind. Okay? To me, you want to know what success looks like for me? Let me tell you what success looks like for me. Getting my kids in bed by 8 o'clock, meaning they're fed, they've eaten, they've brushed teeth, they've peed so they don't pee in the bed, and they go to bed. That is my success. That is what it looks like for me. 8 o'clock at night, my goal. That's why when I tell you guys I'm coming on at 8 o'clock at night, and it may not be until 8:30, 8:45, 9 o'clock when I come on live, it's because my goal is to get these kids into bed first. That's my main priority. You want to know what success looks like to me? For me to wake up tomorrow morning, all right, wake up tomorrow morning, and my kids come to me and tell me, Mommy, I love you. That's what success looks like to me. Everything else doesn't matter to me. If this business that I run runs into the ground, then goddamn it, ran into the ground. Because this wasn't my goal in life. Okay? This was not my goal in life. My goal in life was to run my life. And that's what I'm doing. Running my life. Because when you've gone through a situation where you're not running your life and you have no control over what's going on with you, the biggest thing in that is to run your life. No matter what avenue you go down. You understand? In this business, my goal in life is to meet people who want to learn and who are willing to teach. Okay? I am a teacher who's willing to still learn. And I'm seeking students who want to learn from me. That is my goal. So if I had 100 students and only one of you guys said, hey, I learned something today, then that I've succeeded. So success, the point is success looks different to everybody. All right? At the end of the day, when I put my cake tutorials out there, y'all, if y'all watch my cake tutorials, you know at the end I always do like the little bloopers. You guys are seeing like 2 minutes of bloopers. Little do you know, I have hours and hours and hours and hours of bloopers. Okay, where I'm cussing at the screen, I can't figure out what I'm saying, I've screwed up, I've dropped a spatula, my cake has fallen over, I've had to remake the cake. You guys don't get to see those parts. I mean, you do, but you don't, not really. Because some of that I have to cut out because I'm like, I can't make like an hour-long tutorial. I screw up on a daily. But I know I'm going to screw up, and I'm okay with that. I am okay with the screw up. No, I don't want to have to bake a cake over. Excuse me. No, I don't want to have to bake a cake over. But guess what I do? I bake it over. Just do it. So let me just bake it over. Okay? Yes, there are moments where I'm crying in a corner going, oh my God, I just don't want to adult today. I do not want to be an adult today. Because when you're a kid, they don't tell you adulthood is harder than being a child. As a child, they tell you, you can do whatever you want to do. Right? That's what they tell you. You can do whatever you want to do. If you want to fly to the moon, you're going to fly to the moon. Right? They put that facade in your head. But then when you become an adult, you go, well, shit, I didn't know that I had to pay my entire life work towards having to go to the moon. I didn't know I had to pay for that. Like, I didn't know I had to do all this stuff to go to the moon. You know, that's hard. You're worried about the hard process. Don't focus on what you're not able to do. Focus on what you are able to do. Know that you will fail in some point. I'm not saying all together. I'm saying in some point in life, there will be something where you go, well, shit, I screwed that shit up. You know, or damn, I made a mistake. I made the wrong decision. Or, you know, man, I've done, and that is, you have to know it's okay. That is okay. The only one who knows what your succession should look like is you. All right? You're the only one. Don't nobody else know that shit. And if you have screwed up on your own success, guess what you do? You make a new one. Well, shit. I didn't reach that milestone, so let me try it again, but let me change up the method. So, yeah. I thought that was a very good point. I'm missing everything. Sorry. I'm missing everything. I see, like, the screen going up. Let's see. Well, I'm French, so you won't really understand a word I'm saying, but you'll see the fondant action. Ha. Oh, okay. No, my husband's French, so that's okay. And I know un peu français, just a little bit. But yeah, my husband's French, so he'll tell me everything. I don't know if you remember, but he was in the group chat here when I was live last time, Renoir. He, or was it Le Sacrepin? I don't know what his YouTube name is. But he was the one giving the dictionary information. Anytime I said a word, he was giving like what it meant. Yeah, he's French. Oh, hey Arina. Hi, Florida Bakers Club. I see you, girl. That's okay. I've watched videos in other languages. La la la. And yes, the syndrome. Yes, you do learn from your mistakes. Oh my God, you're gonna have me crying a lot of what you said. I'm currently going through, but I'm pushing through that shit. Failure teaches us lessons so we know better for the future. Exactly. I'm strong and this will pass. God let me tell you something. Um, Nothing means more to me than when somebody tells me that um, a little bit of what I've gone through, or a lot of it of what I've gone through, is what they've gone through or they're currently going through, because that shows me that when I'm not alone, I wasn't alone in my situation, and that hopefully it shows you that it will pass. I promise you it will pass. Um, I appreciate you for your truth so much. No, I thank you so. I appreciate you saying that. I'm just sorry. I'm reading, guys. I'm reading all the comments that you guys write in. Oh my God, yes, I can relate. They want everything under the sun when it's time for bed, girl. Let me everything under the sun, child. Like my son, all of a sudden has to pee. You just pee. Now you got to pee again. Now you want a glass of water. Now you want to do this. Now you got to like. I can't. It gets to the point. It's like, and my kids, they will. Even if we have nights where they stay up late, it doesn't matter. They can stay up until 6 in the morning. At 7:30 in the morning, they're looking at me in the face, going, "Hi, mommy, my belly hungry. My belly hungry." That's what my son does. My belly hungry. Like, you just went to bed. How are you in my face at 7:30 in the morning? It never fails. Since the day he was born, 7:30, and now he has his sister. So when he wakes up, he wakes her up. So now they're both in my face, going, "Hi, mommy." So I have no choice. I have no choice but to be like, okay, well, I'm up, guys. You know, like, I have no choice. I love the bloopers. Oh, thanks. The bloopers. Oh man, you want to know the one that I posted yesterday? The video I posted yesterday, I was editing it, and the last thing I do is edit the bloopers part. Because when I'm editing the video, I take all this crap of the screw ups, and I just cut it and put it down at the end, and I'm like, okay, I'll get to that later. But it's always the last thing. I never watch it fully until I'm at the finalization of editing the video. And I was cracking up yesterday because I was so exhausted from that tutorial that I did. It's the llama fiesta cake that I did. I was so exhausted because when I record my tutorials, it's normally like at 3 in the morning or in the middle of the night. Because it's quiet, it's silent, everybody's in bed, I'm alone, I'm not being bothered, there's no one knocking at the door, my phone isn't ringing, all of that good stuff, right? So I was just cracking up because I didn't remember any of that. I don't remember that. I didn't remember it. And then I was dancing, I was going boom, 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 boom. I could not stop laughing because I could not remember when I did that. I was so sleep deprived. I was like, when the hell when did I say that? Like, I couldn't remember whatsoever. Normally, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember. But this one, I could not remember. I was so exhausted. And I was getting so angry at myself, apparently. Because after I recorded it, I legit turned everything off, wiped the counter down, cleaned the kitchen, and I just went in bed. I couldn't remember anything. And I just thought it was hilarious. I was laughing so hard at myself. It was so hilarious. You're right, the bloopers are, it shows the real side of the biz that we all go through with cake fails. Right, it does. And if you guys went back to some of my tutorials that I did 2 years ago that I posted on YouTube, you'll see I post a lot of my cake fails. Like, I did an egg geode cake that I wanted to do, which I'm going to remake for Easter. And that cake was a fail. That thing came out ugly. But I posted it. Because I'm like, I mean, I did it. It sucked. But I did it. You know, I mean, and I thought some parts of it was okay, but other part of the entire thing as a whole, it sucked. So I'm never afraid of posting my sucky times because I'm human and I suck a lot more than I succeed. And I think by showing that to people, they'll go, okay, let me just relax. It's just cake, right? It's just cake. Like, just relax. Yes, watch the llama when I was dying at the blooper. You're right, also the bloopers are funny. I get delirious when up all night caking and do the same thing. It gets super silly. Right, like you start to talk to yourself. You're just like, I'm sitting here frosting. Oh man. And then as I'm frosting and I notice like I'm talking to myself, or if I notice I'm doing something weird, I go to my head and I have to say, okay, stop doing that, because at some point there's something you have to teach people and you have to stop acting crazy. Like, Yeah. So, and I know we've all been there. Like all of us bake at that time because that's the time when we're left alone and we're able. And some of us had 9 to 5 jobs. We're able to, okay, fine, I'm home, kids are sleeping, or whatever. My man or my significant other, my wife or whatever, my girlfriend is, out of sight, out of mind. I have the kitchen to myself. No one's bothering me, and you just start getting delirious, and it's gone like for 12 years. It's just finally there's a camera in front of me catching all of my freaking crazy. And and you have to laugh at yourself. You have to. If you don't laugh at yourself, then you're taking life just way too serious. Just way too serious. Hey, Cass. So I'm actually really excited for tonight's conversation. I actually love the fact that all of you guys came in here and joined the conversation with me. I really do, because sometimes when you open up a conversation about things that frustrate you in the cake community, a lot of people try to just shy away from it. A lot of watchers, they like to watch to see if you're going to say something shady. But if you think I'm going to say something shady, then you have me mistaken for someone else, because I've never been that person. I just tell you straight like how it is, and at the end of the day, it's all about just like having a good time. I used to take things very seriously, and it wasn't until recently, and of course when something significant happens in your life, you go, okay, let me figure out how to change this or make things better. And it wasn't until recently that I just said, at the end of the day, I just want to have a good time. For 12 years, I've been making cakes for customers. I'm adding. For 10 years, I've been making cakes for customers and being so stressed out about delivering them and all that. Like, I just want to have a good time. I want to be able to play with my kids. I want to be able to meet funny people. I want people to have a good time. I want to just expand and have the best time of my life. It's all about experiences. And at the end of the day, if I am not having fun, then I don't want to do it. So you just have to remember to relax. I wish I was wearing my shirt. I'm not wearing it right now. Relax. It's just fucking cake. And yes, that shirt will be for sale, just not now. I just haven't figured out what day I'm going to release it. But it's just cake. Right? It's just cake at the end of the day. And, you just have a good time. Just have a good time. But not let it stress you the hell out. Because then why do it? The reason why, here's a point. The reason why everybody is owning their own business and baking and making sweets is because they want to be their own boss and do something they love. But why would you want to be your own boss and do something you love if all you're ever doing is stressing the hell out, right? If all you're ever doing is worrying about what so-and-so said or so-and-so did, about the gossip in the street, why would you want that stress? Just have a good time. Enjoy the ride, right? Be in the moment. So I appreciate every single one of you guys coming in tonight and being a part of the conversation. I may want to do this more often. I'm actually going to be in Alabama this Friday, but this Friday is going to be a Fake It With Me, not a Fix It Friday. Fix It Fridays are always for the last Friday of the month, and this was just the Friday of the last Friday that I missed. But again, like I said, I appreciate it. And if you don't know who I am, and if you're watching this replay, hi, I'm Jelena from More Cake. Yes, my badass edible art, and yeah. Hopefully you subscribe, like, and comment. Follow me on Instagram at yes_ma'am_sweets. All of those little links will be down in the description down below later on this evening. And I want all of you to have a wonderful night. Today's Wednesday, I think. Have a wonderful night. I'll be back on Friday, and I'll be in Alabama because I have to teach a class on Saturday, and then I have to teach another class on Sunday. So, I appreciate y'all. Mwah. Mwah. I see somebody saying something. Sorry. I appreciate listening to Always Real Inspiring. Thanks, babes. Appreciate you. And thank you for the feedback today on my wallpaper. Remember, guys, you guys can go to my Patreon. Again, that link will be in the description down below. After I finish the live, you can go and download my free wallpapers that I just put up there for your phones. So, and I'm asking for feedback. So, because it's my first time doing wallpapers, and I'd like to know what you guys think. Trust me, I have a lot more designs I'm going to put out there. You guys are going to love them. La 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 la. Good night, night, night. I want that shirt of all colors, business minded in a mommy world. If you guys aren't following business minded in a mommy world, make sure you do so. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye. Oh, I gotta come around over there and end it. Okay, so bye. I forgot about that part.